Hello. In this podcast, we take a look at press releases and distributor one sheets and what makes a good press release and distributor one sheet. Firstly, what is a press release? Well, a press release is basically a pseudo news story. Now, that can kind of sound deceptive a little bit. Might sound like you're trying to deceive the reader, but it's important to note that a good press release, the goal is not to deceive or to trick the reader, but mainly to inform the reader about a new product or service or perhaps artist that is going to be coming out. And that's what the goal of your press release is to simply inform the reader. Not necessarily deceive or trick the reader, because that can have a backlash to it. Why do a press release? Well, the first reason is that it's very simple to do. In fact, anybody can pretty much do a press release. If you're a good writer, a lot of companies and a lot of people might hire, advertising agencies or PR firms to do a press release, but in actuality, anybody can really do a press release. If you're a good writer, you can actually do one for free. Doesn't cost you anything. You're just basically making a news story or a story that you can distribute to publications that they can run. Number two, why do a press release? Because media publications like them. It saves them time and space, particularly in this day and age when a lot of news publications are maybe going out of business or they're looking to fill content. They don't have as many writers on their staff anymore. And for them, they like press releases because it's a way for them to fill the space that they have, and it doesn't cost them anything. They're just basically accepting press releases from various people or various companies, and they're not hiring their writers to write them. They're just taking what you have written, and of course they can edit them, but it's a good way for them to fill space, and that's why they like receiving press releases. And they always have the option to decline or reject a press release if they don't like it. So for them, it's kind of a no-lose situation, and for you, it's also a no-lose situation because you don't lose any money by sending it to them. They have the option to run it if they want. Number three, like I said, it's very cheap. It doesn't cost you anything to do. You can basically do your article, do a press release, and then send it to various publications for free. And again, they have the option if they want to pick it up and run it or not, and edit it if they would like to. But it's not like you're paying them to get them to look at it. You can just distribute it to them for free. So that's another good reason to do a press release. And number four, it can be very effective at getting exposure to your product or service or artist, whatever it might be. It's very, very good at getting exposure, free exposure for whatever it is that you are seeking exposure for. So what are the elements of a press release? Well, the first thing is the headline. The headline is just very short and as few words as possible, just a summary of what the press release is about. The subhead might be a little bit more information, a little bit more wordy, maybe a little bit more detail, but it's also just kind of a short summary. And by the way, a good way to practice doing headlines and subheads is to maybe pick up a newspaper and just to see how they do it. Look at the headlines that they use, the titles of the articles, look at the subheads. So let's just say, for example, that you're writing a press release for a band. Okay, and let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say that your band's name is Awesome, and your band Awesome is going to be playing at Cool Stadium. Okay, your headline might be something like "Awesome to play at Cool Stadium on November whatever date." The subhead might be something like Awesome plan or promises to wow their fans in their upcoming concert event or whatever, something like that. That would be a good headline and subhead. The lead paragraph is basically the who, what, where, when, and why. You talk about the band a little bit, the who, the what, the concert, what's going on, the where, the venue. It might include some things like also some your record sales, or, recent events, recent things to happen, things like that. That would be kind of things to consider in the lead paragraph. The body's going to be a little bit more on that note, a little bit more detail. You probably include some quotes, some quotations maybe from fans, or from another local venue, or maybe the local venue, like Cool Stadium, whatever it might be, saying something like, "Oh, we're really looking forward to hosting this," or something like that. So you might have some quotations, a little bit more in the body there, and then to close, you would just simply kind of wrap up the article and include any closing comments. Now, the Distributor one sheet is very similar to a press release, but the only difference is that when you're sending a press release, you're basically sending it to publications who are in turn going to inform the public, basically. So you're sending it to the press, who's in turn going to inform your fans or the readers of that publication. The distributor one sheet is very similar. It's going to be like it says, a one sheet. It's going to have information, let's just say that you have a distributor one sheet for an album that's coming out for your band Awesome. We'll stay with that. And so the one sheet's going to have the title of all the tracks that are on there, the title of the album, any like the basic band biography. It's very similar to the press release. A lot of the same elements there, but the difference is that you're only going to be distributing this to distributors, basically, stores that are going to be interested in getting your CD to put that on their shelves. You're not writing this for the press, who in turn is going to inform the public. Here you're writing your distributor one sheet to distributors, specifically distributors who are going to be interested and who you're trying to sell, basically, who are going to be interested in your CD and stuff that they can put on their shelves. So that's basically what a distributor one sheet is. And so to conclude, what makes both the press release and a distributor one sheet effective? Well, if they can convey simple yet important information. Along with that, you don't want to be too wordy. You don't want to include things that are extraneous or superfluous. You just want simple, concise, essential information there for whatever it is that you are selling, whether you're trying to do a press release for a concert coming up that you're doing, or whether it's for an album that's coming out. You just want the simple, basic information there. Nothing too wordy, nothing too extraneous. And of course, you want your distributor one sheet or press release to be very well written, free of errors. Once again, have somebody proofread it, go over it, make sure that there's no errors, make sure that the paragraphs all flow well, and that there's nothing odd or strange. And by the way, you will get better at both writing the press release and also the distributor one sheet with the more experience that you get. So practice writing these. And if you can do all these things, then you can write a very good press release or distributor one sheet.